Alright folks, this is Matthew. We are back playing Criminal Case once again on Facebook. We are going to begin case number 42 in Pacific Bay. This is the fourth case in Ryan Canyon. So I want to thank these three for helping me out, Alberto, Abdul, and Akbar. I know I have a lot of people on my criminal case team. Some of them I've lost, some of them I don't. Some of them I've lost, maybe just for other reasons, but anyway, let's get to this. Crystal Death. Hey Matthew, is it me or is it too hot out here in Ryan Canyon? I had a dip in the pool so I wouldn't sweat to death. What? Are you going to go tattle on me for not wearing a shirt in the office? Commissioner Matthew, quick, there's been a train crash. A truck was abandoned on the tracks, causing a train to derail. The vehicle was blown to smithereens. Luckily, it was a freight train, so no reported casualties, but I still want you and Frank to go secure the scene. We're on it, Andrea. Frank, where's your uniform? I was just about to put it on. Need I remind you about work dress code? Now get to the train wreck site immediately and find out why that truck was on those tracks. Not a problem. Jeez, what a train wreck. There's enough to get hot and bothered about without me having my shirt off. This one goes without saying, let's dig around, but make it quick before I get all sweaty and scratchy again. Let's get the train crash. What you didn't see off camera was the fact that I accidentally bought a burger. An extra one. I ended up with 5 burgers instead of the usual 4. But in the long run, it doesn't matter. Just thought I'd throw that out. Here we go again. Ooh, victim's head. Oh, that's gruesome. Broken sign. Sun. Truck door, and I see the radioactive sign right there. Got it all in 6 seconds. It's the 18th already. Cool. Ay caramba, Matthew! You found a head on a pole? What a grotesque murder! This guy's been beheaded. Where's the body? I don't want to touch that head. You can send it off to Roxy. And looks like you found the truck door. Seems to be the only thing left of the abandoned truck after the train crashed into it. What's that, Matthew? That truck door has some faded image on it? Why is that interesting? Oh, I get it. This door could tell us who the truck belonged to. Maybe they were involved in the murder too. And you also picked up some broken sign, Matthew. Well, what the heck? Might as well restore while you're at it. Looks like I got a couple of these coming in. Let's autopsy it right now. Looks like I had enough for 2. Cool. We'll hold here while I get some more stars. Okay, I got me some more stars. Now let's examine the... Well, let's do the broken sign first. There we go. Estás muerto. Sounds like Spanish. Think you're amazing restoring that sign from the train wreck so quickly, Matthew? It's nothing but a keep out sign. Whoa, you're right. There's some message written in blood. It says, Estás muerto. Yikes. Let's get it to Russell. He loves creepy stuff like this. Okay, 3 hours. I'm gonna get that tomorrow morning. I know the autopsy, I'm gonna have to wait until afternoon. Let's get the results of the truck door now. Sombrero with a mustache. So remind me, why did you reveal that sombrero logo on that truck door? Are you joining a mariachi band? Oh yes, it's because you found that truck door on the crime scene. That logo sure looks familiar. Makes me hungry for some reason. Well, if you think it'll help, go ahead and match the logo in our database. I'm not doing the work for you. Gee, thanks a lot. Go on, hotshot. Stevie can match the logo from the truck door you picked up at the crime scene in our database. Oh, it's A. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm definitely messing up here. Dang it. Tacos Niños restaurant. Nice work matching the sombrero logo you found on the crime scene to Tacos Niños? You mean that taco joint? I've eaten there before. Their slogan is something like, fresh from across the border, since all their ingredients are delivered fresh. But I like it because it's cheap. Good point, Matthew. So that means the abandoned truck on the tracks was a Tacos Niños delivery truck. But where did the driver go? Maybe he saw the victim's head and ran away? Good idea, Matthew. Best bet would be to speak to the Tacos Niños franchise owner. The file you found in the database lists a Mr. Gustavo Salamanca. Alright then, let's go ask Gustavo Salamanca if he knows who was driving that truck. About his company truck's presence on the crime scene. Commissioner, I'm glad you happened to stop by. One of my company's delivery drivers and his truck have gone missing. Oh really? Well, we're here to tell you that one of your trucks was demolished on the train tracks this morning. Any chance you recognize this man? He was found murdered right by the accident. Yes, that's my driver, Manny Sanchez. Why was his truck on the train tracks? Where's the truck now? I'm sorry, Mr. Salamanca, but it was completely demolished in the train wreck. We still have the door. But Manny's route is through border control to bring back ingredients to make our fresh tacos. He should never have been on the tracks in the first place. That idiot! Now I've lost a driver, a truck, and a ton of ingredients. Think of the cost. Excuse me, officers, I need to think this one through. Well, it turns out my idea of going to talk to Gustavo Salamanca was a huge breakthrough. Okay, fine, it was your idea, Matthew, but let me put the puzzle pieces together. So he identified our victim as Manny Sanchez. He was a Taco Niños delivery truck driver, but Mr. Salamanca didn't seem to have any idea why the victim would be near the train tracks. Good point, Matthew. Mr. Salamanca did mention that the victim, Manny Sanchez, normally drives through border control, not over the train tracks. You're right. Something might have happened there to change his route. I guess this means you should investigate the border control station. Another coins. It's 3, I believe. Okay, investigate that truck. Sorry for my slight pauses, folks. I was just putting my socks on. Okay. Eagle. Faded paper. Crate. Palm tree. Boots. Sombrero. There we are. Bit of a slow start, but that's good enough. It's 19th. What did you manage to scrummage up here? A border control sheet with our victim's name on it? Well, go on, reveal the rest of the information. And that box of car supplies. Let me guess, you want to dig through it? Well, don't look at me, get digging. Great, thanks a lot. I better get a few more stars, I'll be right back. Sorry guys, my tablet ran low on battery, so it was forced to end the video where I paused it, but I got me a ton of stars. 15 to be exact. Let's examine the car kit. I've only got borrowed time here, so hopefully I can get this over with. There's a pinata in there, I can see it. Love, Manny. Rosa. Not too shabby, Matthew. You found a pinata in that car kit. Can I smash it open, please? Fine, I won't. Yet. This pinata must be from our victim. The tag reads, Love, Manny. The name Rosa is written on the pinata. Maybe it's for his lover? If you don't let my guesses, then send it to Hannah. And that's what I'll do. And that's 9 hours. Patrol Officer Timothy Chubbles. Nice job uncovering the rest of the text on that border control sheet, Matthew. Now we know who let our victim through the border control. A man named Timothy Chubbles was the one to let him through. Maybe he knew the victim. Let's talk to him. I think that's the fourth one. About Manny traveling across the border. Howdy, officers. It's mighty fine to chat with fellow protectors of Pacific Bay. What can I do for you? What can I do you for? Mr. Chubbles, we have some questions about a man named Manny Sanchez that you let through the border. We've got folks the world over coming through daily. He would have come through in a Tacos Niños truck. Oh right, Taco Guy. A real nice fella. He always says hello. Did he ever do anything suspicious? No, but I'll let him know next time he comes through that you stopped by. Actually, Mr. Chubbles, Manny Sanchez was found murdered this morning. He's dead? Well, that's a gosh darn pity. He'll be in my prayers tonight. Good luck finding the criminal commissioner, Matthew. Timothy Chubbles doesn't strike me as the kind of person who'd kill. But we'll see what happens as we go deeper in the investigation. So now I'm gonna let these things run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you in some hours. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We are back. And we're now going to get the results of the autopsy first. Whoa, this murder investigation looks like it's going to be a tricky one. But don't lose your head over it. Our victim's already done that. Roxy, sometimes your humor makes me want to barf. Well, don't make a mess in here. So it appears that your victim's head was hacked off with a sharp blade. So you'll have to find the weapon to be sure.
But where's the body, Matthew? Or did you just bring me the head as some kind of challenge? That's all we found, Roxy. The head jammed onto a post. At least tell us you found something on it. You're lucky I'm good at my job. I examined the puncture point in his neck, where the head was pushed onto the pole. I managed to find traces of one of our common interests, Frank, tequila, and not on the victim's throat, but on the pole, meaning let's take a shot to our new piece of evidence. The killer drinks tequila.
Are still impaired, and warning signs of the H harbor along the harbor entrances will still remain. We will still do the
and now let's get the road sign.
Monitoring in those areas.
We've got an intense case on our hands, Russell. What can you tell us about the sign Matthew found that won't bore us to death? Aren't you fresh, Frank? Well, the message is written in blood that matches the victim, undoubtedly by the killer. The sign reads, Estás muerto, which is Spanish for, you are dead. Basically, the killer wrote a death threat in Spanish. Wait, Russell, you mean to tell me that we waited all this time to learn that the sign was written in Spanish? A simple dictionary would have sufficed. Well, no one stopped you from using a dictionary, Frank. Don't get smart with me, Blondie. Matthew and I are working all day while you're sitting around on your... What, Matthew? I'm not bickering. I'm just saying, if we got a Spanish-speaking killer on the loose, then Russell better step up to help find them.
But the public should be aware that even though the beaches are open, rain is still forecast
and there's also pinata.
And groundwater advisories are still in effect. Catherine Cruz, KITV4 News.
Matthew, did you send me this pinata so that Frank could eat the candy inside? What I found in there is way better than candy. What's better than candy? Scotch? Nope. Money, and lots of it, close to $10,000. $10,000? Who the heck did Manny, a truck driver, get that kind of money, and why put it in a pinata? Tell me about it. Considering the name Rosa written on the pinata, I ran the name I found of Rosa Sanchez, who was a chemistry teacher here in Ryan Canyon. Same last name. Good chance they're related. Alright, Matthew, we better talk to this Rosa.
Never seen anything like it. A flowing river last night is now dry mountains of mud this morning.
Now let's talk. Miss Sanchez, we're investigating the death of a man named Manny Sanchez, and we need some answers. Do you know anything? What? Manny is dead? He was my brother, mi hermano Dios mío. Oh, sorry for your loss. Anyway, maybe you can help by explaining the money in the pinata he meant to give you. He always sent money to support me. When I first moved to Pacific Bay, I had nothing. I was a poor teacher, a single mother, but Manny helped me settle down comfortably. $10,000 is a lot. How does the delivery guy make that kind of money? He told me not to ask, so I didn't. He said he'd worry about the money and I should just be grateful, which I was. But now I've lost him, my guardian angel. Mi hermano, what will I do now? Well, Matthew, feels like we're in over our heads with this case, though at least we got our heads, unlike the victim. It was Manny's truck that caused the train wreck, but how does that connect with his beheading and his missing body? We barely know anything about our victim, other than he supported his sister Rosa with suspicious amounts of money. And his employer, Gustavo Salamanca, seems upset about Manny's death, though almost more concerned about the destroyed truck. Matthew, have I got big news for you! I researched your victim, Manny Sanchez, and I managed to find property in his name way out in the boonies. So I dug deeper and discovered something about your victim. Manny Sanchez was manufacturing drugs. Well, that explains it. We'll get to Chapter 2 in just a moment. Sit tight, folks. Alright, folks, it's Matthew. We are back. Okay, now I'm going to start Chapter 2 of Pacific Bay, Case 42, Crystal Death. Guess what, Matthew? I researched your victim, Manny Sanchez, and I found property in his name way out in the boonies of Ryan Canyon. I had someone go check it out, and guess what they found out? Your victim was manufacturing drugs. The victim's property was a meth lab, a drug laboratory that produces highly addictive and dangerous methamphetamines. What? Our victim made drugs? So he wasn't just a delivery truck driver. Things just got a whole lot crazier. Come on, Matthew, put on a mask and let's get over to that meth lab.
Much more than anyone first led them to believe.
KT4's Andrew Berger joining us now with some new information. Well, Kenny, 65 businesses have already signed up for the new promotional campaign, with another 2 dozen more waiting in the wings. The program is called Shop and Dine Online and offers discounts at businesses in Waipahu, Aiea, and Pearl City impacted by lane closures and traffic. The Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation created the program in-house to save money, and you can get a discount card by going online. Participating businesses pay nothing to take part, and they say they appreciate the Transit Authority's media blitz. However, some say that's the officials and rail players understand
See a torn thing.
impacts rail construction.
Oh, and there's the rest of the body.
I think a lot of people would come to the conclusion that at this point it's not conjecture because
On paper,
I don't think we've intentionally tried to understand
box of supplies.
this has been our mission, and our mission has been to plan and design and ensure
Red hazmat suit, no bucket.
Rail projects today is different possible impacts on businesses. Lane closures. The next area to feel the impact will be Dillingham Boulevard. Rail construction over there is expected to reach the area by next year or early 2017. The EIS also required the Transit Authority to develop a public involvement plan for businesses before construction started. Since 2006, PART has participated in nearly 1,900 presentations, meetings, and events.
How about
Now to get that
oh,
phone, just go to the SC.
what? You can't understand me with the mask, Matthew? Well, we'll see who's the idiot when you get poisoned. But holy guacamole, Matthew! You found a headless body in the meth lab. Is this the body of our victim, Manny Sanchez? Yikes! Get that to the lab before it falls apart. I'm afraid you know what else you found. Some torn paper seems harmless, though we'll see for sure once you restore it. In that lab equipment box. I'd rather not get my hands dirty, but go ahead and sieve through it, Matthew. Okay, 9 hours. Examine the lab supplies first. There we are. Packaged chemicals. Well, where's your mask, Matthew? This bag of chemicals we found inside that lab equipment box could be dangerous. What's that weird red symbol on it? Well, go on, send the bag to Hannah already. Hours. And torn paper. Periodic table of elements. Tiffany Dunn. Way to work quickly, Matthew. You've restored a periodic table of elements? Haven't seen one of those since my high school chemistry class, which I slept through. Oh right, the name Tiffany Dunn is scribbled on the paper. Good point, Matthew. She's probably in cahoots with the victim. Let's have a chat with this Tiffany Dunn. Powder paper in the victim's lab. What? Manny's dead? How come nobody tells me nothing around here? Miss Dunn, we found your name on a periodic table in Manny's meth lab. You were involved in his drug operation, weren't you? Drugs? I don't know nothing about that. Drop the act, Miss Dunn, unless you prefer to talk to Commissioner Matthew. Unless you prefer to talk to Commissioner Matthew in jail. Okay, fine. Manny made crystal and I bought it. No problem. But then he started raising the prices, so even I, his best customer, couldn't afford it no more. I told him he was being a jerk, and guess what he did? He offered me a job to help him cook his crystal. You know, pour chemicals, weigh it, bag it. Nothing bad. He tried teaching me that science stuff, but I didn't really care as long as I got what I needed. But I don't gotta tell you cops nothing. I got bigger problems now that I got no more crystal. I'll let these two run their course, and I'll get the rest of the stars in the meth lab crime scene. So for now, this is Matthew. See you next time. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do more of Chapter 2. Let's get the results of the body first. Glad you're not going about this case like a headless chicken, Matthew. Speaking of headless, enough with the headless jokes, Roxy. Just doing my job, so I can confirm that this body found in the meth lab and the victim's head are a perfect match. I found no bruises or marks that would suggest the body was moved, so the murder must have occurred where you found the body. So if the murder was in the meth lab, valid point, Matthew, then the killer took the heads of the train crash site afterwards. What an intricate murder. Things get more interesting. In the victim's pocket, I found a note with the words, "Estás muerto," scribbled on it. What? Estás muerto? That's what was written on the sign that Matthew found at the crime scene. The killer must have given the victim the note. There was other text on the paper, though it's faded, but I bet Matthew can reveal it, cluing you in on the killer's identity. I got 20 messages waiting, but I'll get those after I finish this. Ryan Riders versus Ivywood Storm. Try to say that 10 times fast. Nice, Matthew. So what'd you retrieve off that death threat Roxy found in the victim's pocket? Ryan Riders versus Ivywood Storm. Those are soccer teams. So our killer likes to watch soccer and kill people? Worst hobbies ever. Well, even if our killer watches soccer, no one will be rooting for them once we've caught them. That's right. Now let's get the results of the packaged chemicals. So Matthew, based on the bag's labels and a sample test from Jan, I can confirm you brought me a bag of red phosphorus. Pretty hefty stuff. Red phosphorus is a crystallizing element that is used to create crystal methamphetamine, or simply meth. So an ingredient used to make meth, found in a meth lab. Can you tell us anything we don't already know, Hannah? Calm down, grumpy man. Here's something interesting. The stamp on the bag comes from the Army. What? The Army may be linked to this meth operation? That'd be the biggest scandal since Prohibition. Good thinking, Matthew. There's someone in the Army we could confront. Our not-so-good friend, Colonel Spangler. One minute, folks. Okay, let's talk to Colonel Spangler now. Well, Colonel Spangler, our paths unfortunately just keep crossing. Oh, Detective, I despise it just as much as you do. What do you need, Commissioner Matthew? A shot of my tequila, perhaps? I love a shot, but first we need an explanation, Spangler. We found chemicals from your Army in a meth lab. Does red phosphorus ring a bell? The Army uses red phosphorus to create flares and tracer bullets. But funny you should ask, we recently had a batch stolen from one of our freight trucks at Border Control. The thief yelled insults at us in Spanish. I know I speak Spanish myself. Please tell me you caught the criminal. Actually, Colonel, the man we believe took your chemicals, Manny Sanchez, has been murdered. Murdered? What? Really? Serves him right, I guess. Excuse me, officers, I need to make a call. Was it just me, Matthew, or was Colonel Spangler's reaction to hearing about Manny's death a bit strange? Good point. Spangler mentioned the chemicals were stolen at Border Control. You want to go back? Fine, but hurry up with the search. It's hot out.
It's yours. It's Nathan's. He used to play. He started watching.
One moment. One moment again, guys. Okay, now I got it.
So, Mike, what did you do to get kicked out of Dutch Guys?
Let's see here. Traffic light. Peace sign. Paper sheet. Tequila bottle. And pine tree. Perfect.
Side tile. They match your violin color.
Shoved that coat so far because his backside was like and horsehair. Sick. And it wasn't me. My boat
Alright.
case.
Well, look at you finding more clues. What's that? A tequila bottle? I can open that for you if you want. Oh shoot, it has a tag on it. From Manny. Looks like it was a gift from our victim. Figure out what the rest says, will ya? And what's that? An illegal immigrant report with our victim's name and photo on it? Wait, what? So our victim is an illegal immigrant? He wasn't a Pacific-based citizen? This victim is full of surprises. We've got to know more about this, Matthew. We got to know more about this. Matthew, you better decipher the file number on that report. One moment, guys. We need to change dogs.
Nathan's still not giving us anything. We got all the will. We're on campus to see Rose for the last couple of hours. Nathan, Alicia, checks out.
Mi amigo Tim Shovel. Okay. Way to work quickly, Matthew. I promise I only drank 3 shots of that tequila. The tag says, to mi amigo Tim Shovels, from Manny. Manny got this from Tim, the Border Patrol officer? I thought Tim hardly knew the guy. We need to chat with him. About the gift from Manny? Howdy again, officers. Can I help you? It's time to fess up, Timothy Shovels. Looks like you and Manny were buddies. However, we found an illegal immigrant report filed against your friend. Was the tequila a bribe so you'd still let him through the border? Now hold your horses. You people can be so judgmental of outsiders. But if you get to know them, like I did with Manny, you'd see they are people just like us. Manny was nice. He brought me tequila and even helped me practice Spanish. Gets lonely in that booth all day, so his kindness was refreshing. Maybe he was nice to you, but did you know that Manny also made drugs? Drugs? I didn't know that. Please don't get me fired. I really need this job. I promise it won't happen again. Well, I got a select amount of minutes on this thing, so I better get this thing done quickly. See? QBA, yep. Just in time. Way to decipher the file number in that illegal immigrant report you found at the border control. Now let's get it to the lab. Hours. I will let it run its course, and I'll see you guys later. For now. Alright folks, this is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to wrap up Chapter 2. Let's get the results of the file number. So this victim went from truck driver to drug maker, and he's also an illegal immigrant? How did he manage it all? Guess the guy wore many hats before he got beheaded, that is. So what's the deal with the report? A report was filed against Manny for participating in criminal activity on Pacific-based soil. Someone wanted to make sure Manny couldn't apply for citizenship. I can't think of many people who wouldn't want a dangerous man like him to become legal. Bet you didn't think of the actual person who filed the report. His own sister, Rosa Sanchez. What? Rose?
Rosa turned in her own brother? That's a twist. Yes, Matthew, we must speak to her again. Why she report her brother to immigration? Miss Sanchez, we know that you turned your brother in by filing an illegal immigrant report against him. Lo confieso, lo siento. I feel so ashamed. If my family ever found out, please don't tell him. Why did you do it? I couldn't let him ruin the life I'd built here. I got my citizenship from a previous marriage, and since then I have worked hard to make it here. I learned English. I got a teaching job. I've even made friends. But then Manny told me he wanted to come too, to do his meth business full time. Because he has sent me money, he said I owed him and had to work for him. I couldn't throw everything. I've built a way to do some criminal things with him. So I filed a report, hoping he'd never know it was me. I know I am not a good Hermana, but I need to think of myself too, you know. Wow. I can't say I would have done anything different if I was in her position. Matthew, we just started with the head and now we've got one of the most complicated victims yet. An illegal immigrant, a drug dealer. What's next? Timothy thought Manny was a good guy, though I'm sure receiving bribes had something to do with that. Meanwhile, Manny's sister feared he'd ruin her life, so she reported him to immigration. Could she have killed her own brother? Good point, Matthew. We still don't know why Manny's truck was left on the train tracks. Maybe we should call... Hold it. No phone calls will be necessary, Commissioner Matthew. I'll tell you everything. Colonel Spangler? What the heck are you doing here? I know why the truck was on the tracks. The train wreck was planned. Whoa. I'll get to chapter 3 in a minute. See you soon. Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do chapter 3 of Crystal Death, Pacific Bay, Case 42. Commissioner Matthew, I know why Manny left his truck on the tracks. The train wreck was planned. What? The train wreck was planned? By whom and why? I can tell you, but not here. It's top secret. Meet me in the interrogation room, but hurry. Wait! Drats, he's gone. What do you say, Matthew? Do we really have to talk to that jerk? Fine, you're right. And in case Spangler's telling the truth, we should investigate the crash site again. Let's find out what Spangler has to say. Spill the beans, Colonel Spangler. Tell Commissioner Matthew what you know about the train wreck. Manny left his truck on the tracks on purpose. Someone made a deal with him to have him cause the train crash. How do you know this? Because I'm the person who told him to leave the truck there. What? You're joking. You, Colonel Spangler, made a deal with a drug dealer to cause a train accident? I can't even explain it. Neither can I, for now. There's a top secret mission at play here, and that train crash needed to happen. Top secret mission? Sounds like a load of crap, Spangler. You sure you're not making up this story to cover up the murder you committed? Not at all. Believe me, Commissioner Matthew, it's just like when I watch my favorite soccer team play. You just need to have trust. Trust me. I don't trust you, Spangler. If this murder was your doing, be sure we'll put you away for good. Well, he put himself in the running again. Now let's investigate the crime scene. White bucket. Aha. There's the wreckage. Target. Fire extinguisher. Not one of my best scores, but hey, that's good enough. Just learning the ropes anyway. It's the 20th. What now, Matthew? A pile of logs? You can do better than that, unless you find something underneath. Now here's a Tacos Niños food tub. That's the restaurant group that Manny drove the truck for. Could this tub be from his truck? It smells like taco seasoning, but you can never be too sure, Matthew. I'll let you collect a sample. And that I will. Taco ingredients first. There we are. Whoa, what's that strange powder you collected in that Tacos Niños food tub, Matthew? Not sure? We'll get a move on. Send it to the lab. Two coins right now. How long? 9 hours. Torn photo. Just great. You found more work under that wreckage. Well, go on, Matthew. I won't put those torn scraps back together for you. Huh. Manny doesn't look very happy in that photo. So that torn thing was a photo? A train wreck is not the best place to keep mementos. You're right, it's got our victim on it. He sure looks fancy. Wait, is that the meth addict Tiffany? She's wearing a veil. Is this a wedding photo? Agreed, we need to talk to her immediately. About marrying the victim? What do you stinking cops want? I already told you all I know. No, Tiffany, you haven't told us everything. According to this photo Commissioner Matthew found, you got married to Manny Sanchez. Sanchez? That's personal stuff you don't gotta know. Plus, we were only together 2 days before someone took him away from me. Manny's the only person who ever gave me a chance when he got me that job in his lab. He treated me like a real person. He loved me. He always had a lead to go back to Mexico, leaving me here, but then he suggested getting married to make it possible for us to stay together here. You sure he didn't just marry you for the citizenship? What makes you think a drug dealer like him would want to marry you otherwise? Of course he loves me. At least I think so. He gave me meth, didn't he? I don't buy it. I don't buy it, Tiffany, and I think deep down you don't either. Let's hope for your sake you didn't kill him in revenge. I don't think she did. Hell, she hasn't even fit any criteria yet. I'll let this thing run its course, and I'll get the rest of the stars tomorrow because it's pretty late where I am. So I'll see you all later. Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now I'm going to speed this up. Matthew, this white substance you found on that food tub is some menacing stuff. Crystal meth, to be exact. What? There was meth mixed in with taco seasoning? Remind me never eat a Tacos Niños ever again. And so that means Manny was using his Tacos Nino's work truck to transport drugs. Yes, and he concealed the meth in the food tubs to not get caught. Tricky guy. Not all that tricky. Matthew's right. The truck belonged to Tacos Nino's owner, Gustavo Salamanca. Maybe he knew about the drugs? Let's go interrogate him. I'll be surprised if he doesn't know about the drugs in his company's food packaging. Commissioner Matthew, I'm in the middle of watching a soccer game. Anything you need, or can I get on with the match? Anything you need, or can I get on with the match? Actually, yes, Mr. Salamanca. We know that crystal meth was being transported in your work truck. You know you could go to jail for being involved in the drug trade. Pardonnez-me, let me explain myself. Yes, I discovered that my employee was using my company's vehicle to transport narcotics, but I fired him on the spot. If someone else had caught Manny first, I could have lost my business. Good thing that guy at Border Control is always too preoccupied watching soccer games to search vehicles. You fired Manny? I don't buy it. Last time he said he was your employee, that he and the truck were simply missing. Officers, please, you can see that a guy like me isn't involved in this crimes. The most criminal thing I do is drink tequila. The shots will come later, but as suspicious as you sound, I wouldn't get too tipsy just yet. Stuff on his face told differently. Who do you think killed Manny, Matthew? I got my bets on Colonel Spangler. I don't buy that fishy story about the train wreck. And Gustavo Salamanca claimed to be upset about Manny transporting drugs in the food truck, but I've got a feeling that he might have also been involved. There's so many twists and turns, I can't keep track. A shot of tequila sounds really good now. Alright, Matthew, you found the victim's body in the meth lab, meaning the killer was definitely there. Let's go then, Matthew. Back to the meth lab, before somebody clears away any last clues. Now let's investigate the lab table. Lab clothes. That's a shot glass. Ooh, that's a clue. That'll make Frank happy. Got the last three. All of that in 6 seconds. Not bad. Time's ticking, Matthew. You found another box, but this time full of lab clothing? Don't look at me, you can dig up a clue in there. Oh, you picked up a tequila shot? That's right, we know the killer drinks tequila, and considering you found this on our primary crime scene, good eye spotting that bluish substance on it. Take a sample. I'm sure it'll give us a vital tip on who the killer is. I'll take the lab clothes first. There we go. Oh, blood, a machete. Whoa, Matthew, you found a bloody machete amongst the lab clothing? Be careful with that. Considering we're dealing with a beheading, taking this weapon to the lab is a must. Let's do it. Hours. There we go. Blue gel. Way to go, Matthew. You collected blue gel off the killer's tequila shot. Now go, go, go. Get that to the lab. I'll just go ahead and do it now. Okay, I'll let these two run their courses. I may speed up the machete, but we'll see what happens. So for now, this is Matthew. See you next time. Alright folks, this is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results. I think I'm going to speed this up. Speed up the machete. I can tell you straight away, Matthew, the blood on this machete matches your victim. That means this machete is our murder weapon. I also found remnants of cloth on the handle of the machete, remnants of a bandana. The killer must have wrapped their bandana around the machete's handle so they wouldn't leave fingerprints on it. They may not have left fingerprints, but Matthew's too clever for them. He picked up another evidence. The killer's wearing a bandana. Does this mean Colonel Spangler's finally guilty? Let's find out.
As it continues to evolve.
Even though the thrill and excitement that the change will bring, the transition also means challenges.
Matthew, this gel you collected off of the tequila shot in the meth lab is a common topical ointment found in most drugstores. It is a relief ointment used to soothe burns from fires, stovetops, chemicals, and such. So the killer has burns. Could they have gotten them while murdering our victim? There's a good chance your victim likely tried to defend himself by throwing chemicals onto his assailant, causing the burns. Well, now we'll be able to burn the killer with this evidence in court. It's not Colonel Spangler. You did it again, collecting all the necessary evidence, Matthew. Now go arrest that murderous creep, whoever they are.
Listen, every family is stop and think about your family. Think about your parents, your siblings, your kids, your grandkids, and say, how do I get them ready?
Meteorologists say it's still too early to predict what type of impact Erica will have on Florida. It's been almost a decade since Hurricane Mayland.
It's Timothy Troubles.
Well, I've been telling you before about the city's big push. I suppose now the city's in one plan, expanding the pipeline.
Timothy Troubles, you dared call us your fellow officers even though you broke the law by murdering Manny Sanchez. Now don't get your feathers ruffled, Commissioner Matthew. Like I said, I've only got respect for my fellow country. Cut the crap, Troubles. We know you killed Manny with a machete in his meth lab. Commissioner Matthew found both the weapon and his body there. A machete? Now look how you're carrying on. You think a good guy like me could break bad? Manny must have given you those burns while defending himself. Guess he was prepared, considering you sent him a death threat to warn him. Okay, cool it, y'all. I'll admit, I got a bit upset to find out Manny was lying about being a citizen. Upset enough to take his head and jam it on a post? You thought your bandana would wipe away the evidence, but you couldn't fool Commissioner Matthew. Maybe I didn't want to fool anyone. Maybe that beaner deserved to die. I grew up being told not to trust them outsiders, but me being a good person, I gave Manny the benefit of the doubt. But then I found out he stole chemicals from my nation's military to make drugs that harm people. How could he betray me and my country like that? No way I will be waiting on them outsiders no more. I left his head out there to remind those criminals to keep out. Those outsiders you're referring to are people, Shovels, and grouping all foreigners and criminals together only makes you a racist. A murderous racist at that. Why don't you and Commissioner Matthew just admit that I'm doing the real police work out here? Thanks to me, there's one less criminal at large. And thanks to Commissioner Matthew, you'll be celebrating in jail. Timothy Troubles, you are under arrest.
Your Honor, Officer Timothy Chubbs here. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. I was just patrolling and I happened to kill someone, but still... Mr. Chubbs, I have the floor and you speak when I say you can. And what do you mean you just happened to kill someone? I just happened to wear brown socks today. People don't just happen to commit murder. Murder's a strong word. Let's call it protecting my nation from evil criminals. Even if the man you murdered, I'll stick with that word, was a criminal, everybody deserves a trial. Who are you to go around deciding who can live or not? By going off and killing him, you yourself became a criminal. Your Honor, I've thought about it over and over again, and I still don't regret moving that filthy liar from Pacific Bay. Well, you can think about it some more behind bars. For the brutal murder of Manny Sanchez, the court sentences you to 30 years in prison. All rise. What a case you solved, Matthew. That Timothy guy turned out to be a vicious, and might I add, racist murderer. Our jobs aren't easy as officers, but it's our duty to catch bad people and give them all, no matter their actions or race, a fair trial before a judge. Too bad Timothy wasn't professional like you and me, Matthew, or things wouldn't have gotten so ugly. Speaking of professional, I think it's about time for those tequila shots. Okay, let's see how everybody fared. Spangler almost made the cut, but he didn't have burns. Tiffany Dunn was cleared well before. Gustavo Salamanca almost made it, but he doesn't wear a bandana. Rosa Sanchez only spoke Spanish, but she was clear from the beginning. So we'll see you for the AI. Alright folks, this is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do Map of the Stars, Part 4. Now, to the stars, I should say. I don't know what really happened that day. I claim to have seen an alien, Matthew. I was very young, and it's all very hazy. But aliens aren't real, Chief. Don't you think I know that? For years, everybody thought I was crazy, or even worse, a liar. It ruined my childhood. But with everything you found lately, Matthew, I think Ryan Canyon has more in store for us, and we better be ready for it. Matthew, you did good arresting Timothy Chubbs, but now he's behind bars. Somebody needs to patrol the border. Huh, talk about a reward, but fine, let's get patrolling, Matthew. With luck, we'll find some contraband tequila. Before you go, Matthew, I'd like to talk to you for a second. We know Spangler caused the train crash, but for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Will you come talk to him with me, Matthew? Sure thing, Chief. Chief things go first. Colonel, I think it's time you explain why you caused that train crash. You owe us some answers. I'll tell Commissioner Matthew everything in due time. But first I must make sure you can be trusted. Because all the great work Commissioner Matthew's done since arriving in Pacific Bay isn't proof enough for you, you've got some nerve. If you want me to talk, you don't have a choice. Some important military files got lost during the train crash. I need you to recover them for me. Is that all? That's nothing Commissioner Matthew can't handle. We'll go to the crash site and find these files for you, and then you'd better talk.
There, humid conditions, along with locally heavy rain, if it shifts to the north. Now, if it shifts to the south or to the left, stronger winds and widespread heavy rain. This is why we have to track Ignacio to see where the eventual location will be, because that's really going to dictate the weather.
Yeah, I did.
In surf, rising surf on the east and south shores of 2 to 4 and 25 respectively, 6 to 8 on the north shore and
there we are.
in the West Pacific, bringing that swell through. Sunny tomorrow morning and then afternoon, but we have our trades and we have them here until the beginning of next week until they're shifted possibly by tropical storm Ignacio. Of course, as that approaches, we'll know how much rain, wind speed, and storm surge.
That's your briefcase, hand grenade.
Back to you.
Order. SOS. Metal tray. Camera. So did you find anything in the wreckage, Matthew? A military briefcase? That must be what Spangler was looking for. I'm sure he can unlock the briefcase. Then we'll have a better idea of what Spangler is up to.
Sam Spangler coming up next. Once.
And after you put up twice on the end, that goes into fundraiser for your child. Yes. Earlier filming, yes. We look away.
Yep. Q87. Yep. So what treasures were hidden in the briefcase? The manila folder marked top secret? It seems as though there's more information on the folder, but I can't make it out. Get your adjusting kit, Matthew. Project Alien. The folder he found is about a certain Project Alien? What on earth would Spangler want with this? The documents must be well above our security clearance. It's a military special access project. Why would the military waste time chasing chimeras? Yes, I know I've been involved in alien theories, but I was just a child. Unless it's some kind of code name. You're right, Matthew. We'd better send this file to Hannah. Okay, 6 hours. Maybe I'll speed it up, but I don't know yet. Speed. Yep, I got 2 extra energy. Now let's investigate the border check. There we go. Alright, 10,000 extra. Why did you take that torn paper, Matthew? We were asked to patrol the border, not pick up the trash. Oh, it's a torn photo, and you want to piece it back together? You're too curious for your own good. Yeah, right, Frank. There you go. Okay, Matthew, so that photo you pieced back together, so some schoolgirl winning a race? That's cute, but how's it relevant? Wait, you think this girl is Tiffany Dunn? That meth addict? Ha, what's she racing for? Her next fix? Sorry, that was insensitive, and now you mention it, I do see a resemblance. Those eyes, you're right, it's definitely Tiffany in this photo. So Tiffany was once an athlete. There's so much we don't know about her. Look, do you think you can help her in some way? I feel bad for her. Nice plan. Let's send this photo to Hannah and get her to check out Tiffany's past. Maybe we can find something to help her get her life back on track. Long 9 hours. I'll get all these results tomorrow morning. See you guys for that.
Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to wrap up Map to the Stars Part 4. Let's get the results of the top secret project. Hey, Matthew, this is going to sound crazy, but the folder you found claims that the train's real cargo was supposed to be an alien. Hannah, this doesn't make any sense. Aliens just don't exist. I refuse to believe an alien was on this train. Chief, I know it sounds bonkers, but this is a top secret file from the Army. Why would they lie? The crystal skull, the talking statue, you have to admit that... Do not say what I think you're about to say. Spangler must be getting his revenge on us. After all, we've stopped so many of his projects before. Matthew, you're right. There's no point conjecturing. Let's go talk to Spangler about this nonsense. About the alien project? Spangler, we found the documents, but why did you want us to look at them? Because they are top secret, and looking at them is a serious crime. You could be sent away for good. You did all this so you could have us arrested? No, I did this so that there is no turning back for you, Commissioner Matthew. We're in this together, and that is why I can tell you the truth. Listen carefully. I'm only going to say this once. There was an alien on that train, and I did help him escape. An alien on the train? That's very funny, Spangler, but the joke is wearing thin. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you will meet the aliens soon enough, and then you will believe. I'll be in touch, but I have to go. Remember, don't tell anybody. Hey, you can't just take off like that, Spangler. Come back here. What on earth has gotten into him? This has to be some sort of elaborate joke, and he left something behind. Take it, Matthew. I'm sure you'll put it to good use. A gas mask. Huh. Spangler's gone nuts. Get your hankies ready, Matthew. I looked into Tiffany's past, and it's a real tearjerker. 5 years ago, Tiffany was a model high school student. Good grades, on the honor roll. She was even a top athlete. One day she was staying late at school. Her parents had to drive over to pick her up. There was an accident. They crashed. Both her parents were killed. That's awful. Do you think that's why she started taking drugs? The grief? It looks like it. I imagine she blames herself for what happened. Wouldn't you? You're a good person, Matthew. You're right. It's not too late to help Tiffany. Maybe you can even persuade her to go to rehab and get her life back together. That is sad. Get help? Tiffany, Commissioner Matthew would like to talk to you. We know why you started taking drugs. Your parents' death must have... Don't you dare even talk about my parents. Who do you think you are, coming here and bringing that up? Tiffany, we don't really know you, but we do know your parents wouldn't have wanted their bright, beautiful girl to be unhappy, to be sick. You don't understand. It's my fault they're dead. Me. If it wasn't for me, I don't deserve a second chance. It's not your fault, Tiffany. Sometimes horrible things just happen. Life is cruel as hell, but you can't just give up. Commissioner Matthews found a rehab center. They can help you. Everyone, even you, Tiffany, deserves a second chance. You really think so? Okay, I'll come. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Matthew. And I've been meaning to tell you something, Commissioner Matthew. Manny was just following orders. Someone else is behind the meth trafficking, although I don't know who. Thanks for the tip-off. We'll go back to the meth lab and find out who the real drug lord is. But first, let's stop off for burgers. I'm buying. Okay, let's see. That's of course Ace Charming. Motorhome, shovel, eye, printer, notepad, red hazmat, mushroom, fire, knife, hookah. Oh, there we are. The faded delivery order was on the table. You found a faded delivery order, Matthew? When did meth labs become so businesslike? But I agree, if it could lead us to the drug lord, we better see what else is written on it. Control the market, build our empire. I thought this delivery order would lead us to the drug lord, but it's just an order for the Tacos Niños chain. Alright, so the message control the market, build an empire is a bit ominous if it's just about tacos. Think it's worth sending to the lab? Alright then. Six hours. Okay. I'll let it run its course. See you for that. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. And we're now going to wrap up Crystal Death. Case 42, Pacific Bay. I'm going to speed this up. I checked out that Tacos Niños delivery order you found in the meth lab, Matthew. The delivery was for several Tacos Niños branches in Ocean Shore, Ivywood, and Paradise City. Tacos Niños is everywhere. But when I dug deeper and compared their yearly income to their actual restaurant sales, there was a huge disparity in the numbers. Last year, Tacos Niños sold thousands of dollars worth of tacos, but they reported making millions. The only possible explanation? Money laundering. Money laundering? You mean like when people throw their illegally earned money into real businesses in order to disguise their earnings as legal? Precisely. I'm surprised you knew that, Frank. Tacos Niños was earning tons of illegal dough. And you know what the biggest money-making business is? Drugs. Drugs? Wait, that's right, Matthew. Our victim Manny was caught delivering meth in a Tacos Niños container. Does this mean Manny was delivering drugs for the Tacos Niños franchise? That's right. Turns out Tacos Niños restaurants are hot spots for meth dealers. The restaurants sold them drugs, then laundered the profits into the business. The Tacos Niños empire wasn't built out of tacos, it was built out of drugs. And I bet I know who's standing on top of that empire. The owner, Gustavo Salamanca. There's no way Gustavo wasn't aware of what was going on. It was a company-wide operation. Matthew, go get him. I certainly will. Looks like I'll be making 2 arrests. Gustavo Salamanca, I think you know why we're here, and it's not about tacos. Is this about our enchiladas then? They are very good, that's true. Cut the crap, Salamanca. We know you were using your restaurant chain in order to launder money made from selling meth. We thought Manny was the kingpin, but in fact, it's you. You're insane. You can't prove any of this. I'm an honest businessman. See, that's what we thought. Until Commissioner Matthew found a delivery order for your company in the meth lab. From there, it didn't take long for our technician to uncover your drug trafficking. You're not very good at hiding your money laundering. That's the problem with drugs. You make so much money you lose track of it. You don't need to worry about that anymore. Gustavo Salamanca, you're under arrest. The only thing you'll be laundering from now on will be your fellow inmates' clothes. Got me another 20 grand. Matthew, either Spangler has gone completely crazy or something bigger than all of us is going down in Ryan Canyon. I mean, he just claimed he helped an alien escape from the army. An alien? I'm still convinced Spangler is playing an elaborate joke to try and make us look foolish. And yet, I do have those memories, Matthew. I think we haven't seen the half of these alien theories, but I'm almost afraid of what's going to happen next. Matthew, Chief, Spangler just left a message. He said if you wanted more answers, you should go look for them yourselves at the Pacific Area Space Agency's launch pad. Another 3,000. Got me some more. So let me add this to my inventory. $81.65 in my number of energy. So that's it for case 42. See you for case 43. So for now, this is Matthew. See you next time.